Do you need to get home to your furry friend? Then come to Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Tell them, Bo. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines is looking for team drivers. That's right, team drivers. Starting out at $150,000 a year. Yeah, I said it, $150,000 a year. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Who's got the T680? At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we put God and family first. We got Blue Cross Blue Shield. We can get you home. We got the money. We got the trucks. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Troy, Alabama. And good morning. We're back with Truck Talk with Wiley Sanders Truck Line. It's another Monday morning, and man, am I excited. Oh, boy, am I excited. You know, I love the rodeo. I love the rodeo, but we're having what they call a ranch rodeo. This is what they call a ranch rodeo. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it. We got two of the gentlemen there. I ain't going to tell you who they are. I got a surprise for you. You're going to know when I get to the Bible scripture. You're going to know these two gentlemen. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but I just want to tell you something on a personal level. If you are looking for some good, clean family fun, the Calumet Association, they got it. I have never went down there and did not leave there just full of laughter and joy. That's just what they do. Those guys, they cater to everybody, and they make sure you get plenty to eat. They make sure you get a seat. Any function that the Calumet Association have has always been a good function. I've been to the auctions, I've been to the kids, anything, steaky, anything they do, they take pride in it. And I'm always excited to have some of the guys on the show with me. But you know what I'm about to say. At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, what do? We put God and family first. And anytime I can get a volunteer, I just always get me a volunteer. And I asked, and this young man told me, I did say young man, he told me, I said, you want to do a Bible scripture? He said, yeah, I'll do one. And I was finna give him a tablet. He said, well, I got one in my head. I love a man that's got God in his head. All right, give us your Bible scripture.
All right, good morning, everybody, and thank you, Jeffrey, for them kind words. My verse today is, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Psalm 19:14. Y'all take that to heart.
All right. I don't know, but the one thing about on Mondays, I get excited because I get to be with new drivers and new trainees, and that's the first thing we do on Monday mornings. We pray, and then I come right on to the show, and that's the next thing we do. We pray again. You can't have enough prayer. You can't do too much praying. Right. But we're going to talk this morning, and you know what, I'm just going to skip straight to it. The Mutton Buster. if you ain't seen nothing else, just come to the rodeo for the Mutton Busting. But I'm not going to steal it all. I'm going to let you guys talk and tell me some of the things you got going on. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Take the worry out of Wi-Fi with managed Wi-Fi from Troy Cable. Say goodbye to dead zones. Automatically update outdated technology. Get the most of your signal with specialized access points. With worry-free Wi-Fi from Troy Cable, you can enjoy a full-strength signal reaching every corner of your home. Think fast. Think friendly. Think Troy Cable.
Welcome to Wiley Sanders Truck Line state-of-the-art bunkhouse. Let me show you. Do you like it cold? Then set it cold. Got the spouse with you? We've got you covered. Sit back in the state-of-the-art bunkhouse and watch your favorite TV show. Relax. Have a good time. After a long day, you can come in the state-of-the-art bunkhouse and get a great hot shower. Look how nice they are. At Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, we keep it clean for you. Drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we still have the $1,000 sign-on bonus. We give you Blue Cross Blue Shield, 401k. We match it up to 4%. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Come drive for the best today. Come drive for the company that puts God and family first. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We're looking for team drivers. That's right, team drivers. Our team drivers can make up to $150,000 a year. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we put God and family first. Bo, tell them. At Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we still have the $1,000 sign-on bonus. We give you Blue Cross Blue Shield, 401k. We match it up to 4%. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Come drive for the... And we're back again with Truck Talk with Wiley Sanders Truck Line. You know, we had a little mic trouble. Why did you do that?
Jeffrey, I've heard of breaking the camera. I never heard of breaking the mic.
You never heard of breaking the mic. That's well, at least you can say, well, I didn't break the camera.
Here you go.
Guys, tell me something. What is it that drives you to the things y'all do at the rodeo? I mean, all this hard work, it's just got to be a love within.
Yes, sir, Jeffrey, it is. About 30 years ago or so, we had an idea to come up with a rodeo again. It'd been years and years and years since there'd been a rodeo in Pike County, and the board members decided they wanted to put on one, and we did. We was at the fairgrounds for the first one. We decided we want to build our own facility. The arena, covered arena, and the building itself, it worked out. We had a lot of help from the community, from different supporters, and it's just been a blessing. And we did it to help support the youth of Pike County and the surrounding areas, and it's been a blessing, it really has.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I wanna commend your young ones, the youth rodeo for the Pike County. Let me tell you something. Them boys and girls came on my show. You guys was represented well. I can tell. The Bible teaches to train a child up while they're young.
Amen.
Y'all have trained them.
Yes, sir.
They are some good boys and girls, just as manable. I was brought up from the old school way. I still say yes sir and no sir. I still say thank you, no thank you, and that's the way they were. And they was I mean, when you can have that many kids on a stage at one time and have order, them some trained kids.
That's our future.
That's our future.
Future looks good.
And it looks very good, very prominent future. Yes, sir.
These kids that were on your show, they are part of the second generation. Their advisors, their parents, some cases, but all their advisors, they also came up through Junior Cabins organization.
Junior Cabin, that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. Well, it's real nice. I just wanted to take time and commend them kids again. But I want to tell on them a little bit.
Uh-oh.
They told me they were going to do something, and I ain't got it yet. So I know you guys, y'all will get on them. We do a thing where you sit at home with your cell phone, just like you gave me that Bible verse. Well, the parents just record their child while he's reading the Bible verse. Send it to Justin, and we run it on the show.
How about that?
Any kid. It'd be so nice. I've had a couple to do it. I think I know they got them busy schedules and they so busy, but next time maybe if you're having Bible study night at your home or you're going to Bible study at the church, when you're in that frame, that'd be a good time to do it. Just send it to me. Amen. Or if a little kid is at the church and he's doing something, record that. And let's spread that. I am so tired of when you turn the TV on, everything is negative.
Mm-hmm.
I get excited about stuff like this, the ranch rodeo, good clean fun.
Yes, sir.
Everybody just out having a good time. And you know my brother, he gonna be walking around with that hat. He ain't gonna be still the whole time.
No.
He gonna walk from the time.
I'm gonna try to walk.
You gonna try to walk?
I'll
That's
have
good.
a horse there to back me up, though.
Yeah. Well, tell me some of the things, got some of the events at the rodeo. Some things that's gonna be going on.
We will probably start with an event called Stray Gathering, where we'll turn 2 steers out and 2 yearlings out, and they have to rope them, tie them down. Time's over then. We'll have trailer loading. We'll have a team sorting. That's a non-roping event, but it's very entertaining. We'll have a branding competition,
Oh wow!
and we'll finish off with a wild cow milking.
Now how they do that? The wild cow roping. I want to see that.
It
Well,
ain't easy.
It's not easy. You'll have 1 roper, 2 muggers, and 1 milker. They rope the cow, and they'll have a Coca-Cola bottle, a beer bottle, or something with a small neck on it. They have to get just enough milk in there for the judge to pour it out.
I'm excited about that one. I know
Well,
what I'm doing.
it's Ranch Rodeo's version of bull riding.
It's Ranch Rodeo version of bull ride.
That's right.
It's a crowd pleaser.
All right, can I have this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hey, just to shine up, so you can get a close up on this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be on the radio. Man, I can't get my words. I'm gonna be on the radio the rest of the week, from about 8 to 8:05, and I'm just gonna talk about this and talk about that mutton and busting and talk about the things you just told me. We're gonna make this rodeo just as big as it can be, you know, and let the people are tired of staying at home, and they're tired of watching the news with all kind of stuff going on. This is a chance for Pike County to get out and come together and enjoy one another.
That's it.
First time I met, give me your name again, please.
BB.
BB. First time I met Mr. BB, Derek Thompson sent me down to the Cattleman, asked me to go down to the Cattleman Association. We was gonna do a little old commercial for the rodeo. And BB come in there and he said, "You ready?" I said, "Yeah, I'm ready." He said, "I ain't never did this before. Just what do I do?" I said, "Just talk to me." He said, "I can do that." BB, he said, "I can do." I said, "Just talk to me." He said, "I can do that." And those kind of people, y'all are kind of people that all the guys are like you guys. They're not with you, all of them are not here. But all y'all got the same mannerism. Just be nice, have fun, and enjoy. You can tell the people that's working with the rodeo is enjoying. And you know my buddy, Mr. IGA man, I call him. Johnny, Mr. Johnny. He always be tickling me at the auction. Hoss, what you gonna buy? What you gonna buy? I don't know, I'm gonna buy something. How long have you guys been around this? How long?
About the whole 30 years or so. I mean, since the rodeo started.
Yeah, 30 years.
Yeah, so we've the Cattleman Association been around for way longer than that. But as far as the rodeo is concerned, yeah, we've been promoting it since year one.
And you would invite any family to come and bring their kids and just sit down and enjoy.
Yes, sir. And you don't have to worry about your kids. They're gonna be watched over and they're gonna be safe and have a good time. The whole family.
I can be a test to that. I have been there and I have gave away T-shirts and thrown stuff up in the crowd. Never had a monster. Everybody just is polite and it's a good thing. It's good for Pike County.
Well, if you get your kids interested in rodeo and horses, they'll never have enough money to get into any kind of trouble.
That's for sure. He'll take it.
You know, you said something there. My daddy didn't do it with rodeo, but he did it with a car, and I love a car to this day. And he would get you to working on a car, and he would let you pick up pecans, he'd let you do all this, and you'd always be just a little short, and he'd loan it to you. Well, it kept you where you was always working up. You never had no extra.
Mm-hmm.
And he told us about it after, you know, when we was older. He said, "Ain't nobody worry about you boys buying no whiskey. You was stealing mine." He said, putting water in. He got on us about that. And he said, "I didn't worry about nothing else because you didn't have no money. Didn't have no money."
That's right.
And that's right. And that's a good saying, what you just said there. What I like about the rodeo is, though, all the people coming around and you hear the kids laughing, and when that cow comes out there, some of them old timers say, "Get him." What about horses? Will they be on the horse when they get this? The separating, that's what I'm trying to say. How do you separate them? What does that consist of?
Well, some of the events like the sorting and the stray gathering, all team members, this is a team sport, 4-member team, all team members will be on horseback. Now, like wild cow milking, you just have 1 member on horseback. The branding, there will be 2 people on horseback, if they so choose. It depends on the event, and they're handling these animals, these cattle, like they're their own, as gentle as they possibly can. You know, this is not no slam bang thinking man's affair. the good part about it, it's not as scripted as regular rodeo is. The livestock's not used to an arena. They don't know what they're supposed to do.
Oh.
The folks competing don't do it every weekend. They've got other jobs,
Okay.
and that it makes for some unexpected consequences. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Now I understand what you was telling me before we came on air. You said, Jeffrey, much as you love the rodeo, you'll sure enough love this.
You will.
You get to see the different things. Mr. BB,
Yes, sir.
are you excited?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm ready.
You
Get this
ready?
thing going. Yes, sir. Let me tell you something real quick now. We got rodeo Friday night and Saturday night, 7 o'clock, both nights. Now, Saturday afternoon, starting at 5 o'clock, we'll have the Western Festival for the kids.
Okay.
Now, they get a big kick out of that. And we usually have 100, 150 kids out there in that arena doing stuff. And also, Saturday at 12 noon, we've got 5 chuck wagons coming, and they'll be cooking Old West style stuff in cast iron pots. We'll have, they'll all cook a stew, a dessert, and a bread. And we're selling tickets for that. We're limited number of tickets. It's $10 a ticket for the meal, but I think you'll enjoy it. I sure do. It's old West style cooking, and it's going to be a good weekend. They need to come out and enjoy it.
And if somebody would call our number, Justin, when you put the number up, oh, it's already up, huh? Somebody would call our number, we'll give, we're not going to give one person all 4. We'll give, first caller, we'll give them a rodeo ticket and a meal, and the second caller, a rodeo ticket and a meal.
There you go.
Even if they're gone, if you call this number, we'll give this to you. We got another guest coming on today. We got one of our drivers here, Mr. Ron Hurts. He's here with us. What would you tell a man that was trying to come to the rodeo and bring his family? What would be a good time for him to show up? What do you think is a good time?
Well, the gates will open like at 5 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
So come on and you know, check everything out. You might want to walk around and look at some of the stock or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We may have some music playing, all that kind of stuff, you know, and just mingle with the other folks and just have a good time.
Let's have a good time.
Right.
All right. Good, clean family fun by people who believe in family. If Wiley Sanders Truck Line is involved in it, you can believe that we're dealing with somebody that believes in God and family.
There you go.
That's
right.
That's what we got to turn back to, and everything will be all right.
Can I say one more thing real
You
quick?
sure can,
Now,
Mr.
we
BB.
couldn't do what we do without our sponsors, and we appreciate you, Jeffrey, doing what you're doing to help us get your word out, and we really do. We thank you so much. Our regular list of sponsors for the rodeo is too numerous. It'd take me a while to go over all of them, but I'd like to go over my chuck wagon sponsors real quick, not but 6 of them, and let me read them out if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Spring Hill Baptist Church, Floyd Tire and Auto, Preston's Restaurant, Pinkard Pastures, Stevens Body Shop, and the Printing Press. And we couldn't do this chuck wagon thing. Like I said, we got 5 chuck wagons coming. Each one will cook a limited number of meals. And we got the tickets divided up, so hopefully they'll all sell for each wagon. So y'all be sure and come out this weekend.
All right. Well, we'll see you Saturday, Friday at the rodeo right there at Pike County Cattlemen's Association. We'll be right back with our next guest.
Hey everybody, Mike McDowell, driver of the Love's Travel Stop Ford Mustang for Front Row Motorsports. Just want to send out a special thanks to all you out there that are working so hard to keep America moving. We know that the world's crazy right now and things are trying and we know that this is a difficult time, but we're so thankful for you guys that continue to stay on the road and keep us going. We know it's not easy and you have family back home and friends and we just appreciate it so much. There's so much that we take for granted that we realize right now that without those trucks going around the country, we wouldn't have any of these supplies. So thank you guys very much. Keep up the good work and we appreciate it.
At Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, we put God and family first. We've been in business since 1959. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, Blue Cross Blue Shield, 401k. Woo! We got the trucks. Come to Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Tell them, Bo. Come join Wiley Sanders Truck Lines today. $1,000 sign-on bonus. We match your 401k up to 4%. Blue Cross, Blue Shield. We also have a dinner plan. You could be the next driver of the month. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, Troy, Alabama. You're a certified mechanic looking for a job, then come to Wiley Sanders Truck Line. That's right, Wiley Sanders Truck Line. We need good mechanics. Call John Smothers or Ken Bray for the maintenance department. You will have a future at Wiley Sanders Truck Line.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. Though you've probably heard these words before, it's our wish for all travelers. For those carrying the things we need and visiting the ones they love. Those that take to the open road to feed their families, to see new sights, to get ahead. They spend hours, days, nights, even weeks on an endless ribbon of highway. Through the weather, the breakdowns, the closures. And then they see it. Glowing in the distance, that familiar sign, a sigh of relief. Each day, thousands stop by, each different, each with one thing in common. They need this. They need us. They need a home away from home. A place where everything is exactly the way they like it, and the everyday is done extraordinarily well. So today's a new day. Let's be that place. An open sign where there's none for miles. A familiar face that always says, "Welcome back." A meal that refreshes their soul. Let's be that place where they can grab a warm shower after a long day and be that crew that can repair just about anything. Let's say, rest easy, weary traveler. You made it. But let's not stop there. We will lead how America's highway travelers refresh, refuel, repair. We will return every traveler to the road better than they came.
You're not just a number. We know your name. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Family owned. Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Come drive for the best today. We got Blue Cross Blue Shield. Hey, we can get you home. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Been rolling these wheels since 1959. Money, money, money. Just rolling these wheels. If these wheels roll, you make money. Come drive for the best today. Wiley Sanders Truck Line. Troy, Alabama. Wiley Sanders Truck Line, we put God and family first. Bo, tell them.
When you think Troy Cable, think of a world-class network. Think of friendly local customer support experts. Think of reliable internet, phone, television, and security for your home.
And we're back with Truck Talk with Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. I got my driver on here, Ron Hurst. Ron, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good if I can get my microphone set in.
Get your microphone situated. I should have got all that done before I brought you on there. Look, first thing I'm going to do, and I told the drivers that I would do this. A lot of drivers watch this show, and we got a suggestion box in the driver's line. And I promised them, as long as they kept it decent in order, that I would read it. And a lot of time I just go through it and see what they're talking about, and I get it done. We got some drivers that want us to put some dish detergent in the driver's lounge and fix a place where they can wash their dishes for the ones who cook in their truck. Got a lot of drivers cook in their truck. So.
I do.
Yeah, you do too? Okay, that's good. A lot of guys want the shop to be open 24/7, 7 days a week. Yeah. We've tried that, and man, it's just hard. You go through the days where you got plenty to do, and then you go through the days where you got nothing to do. So we don't think about it. And then it says, and this one we have already accomplished. They's asking about the bunkhouse being open during the day if you was broke down or needed a place to get a nap. We've started doing that. That's already in progress. So that's a good one. All right, drivers, I've tried to get this, but it's just such a liability to I'll be honest with you, probably not gonna happen. In the laundry room, they had some complaints. We try to keep it clean, but if you're doing your laundry, you know how long it takes to do your laundry. Don't leave your laundry in there for 4 or 5 hours and hold the machine up, because nobody wants to bother nobody else's laundry. So I can go along with that. And treadmills. Boss is gonna say no, because somebody might fall and hurt themselves. I've got a no on that. I've tried that, and I have to go along, not just because. Well, it's the truth. Somebody could get hurt.
You can walk from safety back to the bunkhouse and get the same effect.
So yeah, you can walk around in y'all, but I know we're not gonna have no treadmills. But I want you to know, I'm gonna continue to read them, as long as you say something that's appropriate and decent. And you never know, Mr. Sanders watched this show, Mr. Parker watch it, and you drivers, you watch it. So it lets you know that your voice is being heard, and that's the main reason I like to make sure that I read them. And I want to let everybody know out there in TV land that I have these rodeo tickets. No one has called. I'm going to leave them here at Troy Cable. I'm going to make sure I leave them here at Troy Cable, and they'll be here until Friday morning. After Friday morning, we will be collecting them back if nobody has came by and picked them up. So that's one thing we want to say. Ron?
Yes, sir.
How's it going?
Man, my wife told me I got to give her a shout out. Today is my 36th anniversary and my son's 35th birthday. He was born on our anniversary.
Really?
36 years.
36 years.
Spent the last 21 of them here. So.
And we're glad to have you.
Yes, sir.
Those last 21 years. Ron, I know you've been thinking all morning, why does he want me to be on this show? Why? He's been calling me. I wanted you to be on this show because the job you have did at Wiley Sanders Truck Line, and see, maybe you can help all those other drivers that I've been flagging down and say, come on in. It's greatly appreciated. We have a safety director now, and I want to sit up and look. Make sure you hear me. We have a safety director now that listens. He flaps on his ear and he said, what you tell him don't fall on deaf ears. So we appreciate your input, but most of all, we appreciate the service you gave. And I'm going to tell your wife this. What's your wife's name?
Greta.
Huh?
Greta.
Yeah. Happy anniversary, Miss Greta. Because let me tell you, without Greta being by your side, you could not have been as successful as you are.
100%.
So I thank you and Greta.
Absolutely.
I thank the both of you for making this work, for making it work for Wiley Sanders Truck Line, also making it work for you. Thank you for all the years you've done this. No, Ron ain't dying. He ain't leaving us. It's just sometimes you just have to take time. I want Leon Miles to come. I want Dan Dodgers to come. I want Paul Pitts to come. So I'm calling them out now. I want some of them old greats. I call them them legends.
Got to have Willie Green come.
Yeah, Willie Green come. How would you call legends?
Yes, sir. They are.
Y'all guys, nothing offense to the young people, but I look at you guys and I think that's a lot of miles. Do you ever go down the road and wish that you had you could say a penny for every one of the white lines you've seen?
Oh, man.
Just a penny. Just a penny. What would you have?
I can't imagine.
Huh?
I can't imagine.
How many new trucks have you wore out? How many new trucks have you got? Because I know you get.
I've had a new truck every year since 2005. And this is the first year I turned a new truck down. I actually like the one I'm in. It's really comfortable. It's kind of like a good pair of jeans. I just don't want to get out of it.
Yeah.
But my boss has given me a brand new truck every year to drive. And in turn, when I turn it in, I try to have it as nice as can be. And, and I don't smoke and I don't let, I try not to let it get wore out so that the next person that gets it, even though I heard you talking today to the orientation class, that the new guys weren't going to get the new truck right then, but we have some ones that are coming by. I want that to be that truck.
Yeah. You want that truck to be a truck that a guy can get, but will still be
And
proud
he's happy
of.
about it.
Still happy about it. That's right. I was so glad to have a guy in the recruiting class this morning, have a guy that's done been there and done tested out. Because I wanted those guys that was starting the process he was starting to see it can happen. And you notice I told him I didn't pick no guy that just went squeaky clean. I picked somebody who had a bump in the road. And but he was 2 weeks out, and I talked to him, and he listened, and we got through it. Training, it's not as easy as it seems, but the fact of it is, what other job, and I say this week in and week out, what other job other than the trucking industry that you can go into for 6 weeks, come out of that school for 6 weeks, go into a training program for 6 weeks, total 12 weeks, and making anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000 a year.
That's right.
That's gonna be hard to beat now. That's gonna be hard to beat.
And not be in debt like some of these folks.
And not be in debt. And if you pay it out of pocket and you come with us, we'll pay $150 a month or till it exceeds $5,000, whichever case comes first. Not only that, during the process of us paying it back, we're strong enough and we got a great company. So we don't have to put you in no contract. That's just you signing on and we doing that. During that course of the time, if you decide, hey, this is not the place for me, that's fine. We don't want no money back. We even Stephen right there, vice versa. If we decide that you don't work out, we vice versa. I'm always leery of a guy that's trying to get me to do something that wants me to sign.
Yeah.
And give him a certain term. I ain't borrowing no money. I'm getting a job.
That's right.
I got no problem with it when you borrow money. Yeah, they want you to sign and because they give me but to come on a job, it should be a sign, get my paycheck and go to work.
That's what I do, I recruit students and I tell them, I said, look, we don't make you sign a contract because we feel our company will keep you here. If you have the good equipment, if you're running good miles, you've got good open communications, and you really feel like people care when you talk to them, you don't need to sign a contract. You'll stay.
You'll stay. But going back to what you just said, to come on the show on your anniversary, Ron, that makes me feel special. I got to be a part of you and your wife's anniversary day. What are y'all gonna do today?
Oh, we had our. Actually, I'm headed to Houston and Seattle, but believe it or not, one of the things that we decided is that sometimes trucking will throw a wrench in it, and you won't make it home on a certain day. And you know what? That's okay. I mean, that was once my kids were gone. If we had to do Christmas 2 days later, or we had to do it a week early because of scheduling, we're okay with that. And it was part of the job. And part of this is if you're really going to do this and you're going to be successful at it, be flexible, and have and understand that if you want a 8 to 5 job, this ain't it. Work in an office. Work in an office. This is an irregular route carrier with irregular times. Things happen. In the 21 years I've been here, 2 times have I not made it home due to a dispatch problem. The rest of them, it's either been weather related or mechanical.
Yeah. And and I think you'll attest to this too. We are big enough to get you everything you want, but small enough to be your family.
Absolutely.
And I say that to people and they look at me like I'm crazy. We're big enough to get you all the things you want, get you everywhere you want to go, but small enough to be your family and not forget you.
That's right.
And when I say that, you put 1,000 marbles in a basket and you pull them out, they go everywhere. But you stay like our fleet is. Everybody knows everybody by name. Dispatcher knows all his drivers because he ain't got 500 drivers. He got enough drivers. He become a relationship with them. I know you're Thomas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Hicks. You and him on first name basis. Y'all probably know what each other's thinking before it think. You know when you unload certain places, you already know where you're going. And man, I'm gonna tell you, Ron, you got some guys around there that really look up to the job you do. And I know you know these guys are your friend, but Scott Maddox, I think you gave Scott a lot of advice when he was learning to get his CDL. I think he was real helpful to him, and he really appreciated it.
He's good people.
Frankie, so they be telling me these secrets. Frankie tells me that he reaches out to you sometime and asks you stuff. There are no eyes on the road no better than the man that's on the road. Now, I'll say that again. There's no better eyes on the road better than the man that's on the road, and that's you. And that's you. We can sit back and make decisions. I've gave Sean a couple of my schools to go by, because traveling too full kind of gets to me because of the fact that I need to be around, but sometimes I want to get out. But every time Sean goes and he carry that truck, I get a buzz about it. People be telling me, man, I appreciate you sitting in the truck, and they think it's like something so it works. It helps when you go by there with the truck. It don't hurt nothing.
No, not
Put
at
it
all.
that way. It don't hurt nothing. And I've had drivers to show up at schools that I'm going to be at. But there's no story told no better than the person themselves that dealt with it. And I just want to mention this, and I don't want to go too far into it, but I had a guy that come in my office. His name was Caleb. And I'm not going to say his last name, but he had some difficulties. And I was this close to giving up. And this is what family does. You ever been doing something, you got a brother or sister, one of the brothers wants to do this, but the sister will say, don't do that. Well, in his case, Brandon said, we got to do something else. And I leaned on you. I called you and I told you the situation, because he still drives for us, so I'm not going to dare embarrass him. And I told you the situation, and you said, let me take a shot at it. And you did, and every time I see him come in that office, sometimes I almost make my eyes water. But really done it, and really let me know that we put family and God first, was when that kid's father called me.
Oh, yeah.
And he called me and he told me, somebody give my child a chance. And he was proud of it.
Oh, he should.
Huh?
He has every reason to be.
And he's a good kid.
Very
good kid. Good kid. And that's what Wiley Sanders does. That chance that was closed, that door that was closed, that looked like it wasn't no key to the lock. Just every now and then, and I'm not going to say we get it all right all the time, but every now and then we unlock that locked door. That's the ones, I know you can see them and you can say, yeah, I remember him. And I tell people all the time, nothing makes me feel no better than when I'm going out the gate or coming in the gate. And I ain't gonna call him no kid, I'm gonna call him a driver. And I see a driver going out that gate that I bought in, and maybe everything wasn't quite right. Maybe he'd been struggling a long time, and this was a break for him, but turn himself around. He wants to work now. He wants to have something. When I see he done been through the training program, now he got his own truck and he go out the gate. Malik, and when I remember your name, that means he got really down in here. 'Cause he was in my office Friday, and just a good little kid, doing good, out there riding. It's a lot of success stories, but Wiley Sanders Truck Lines has been good to so many people. So many people. I heard you say you and your wife, 36 years. That's a long time. How many kids y'all got?
I got one son and two granddaughters.
Two granddaughters. How old are your granddaughters?
12 and 14.
You took them on the truck yet? They old enough. What is it, 15? How old they have to be?
Well, I told them that you had to be 30 to be able to ride. Right. Listen.
All right.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
need to
pretty
take
sure
them
your
driving.
wife is watching you. I'm pretty sure your wife is watching.
Let me tell you,
brother.
one day we were getting ready for church. My wife was out of town. They spent the night. I put my clothes on to go to church. They looked at me and said, "You're not going to church like that, are you?" I don't need them on the truck.
So they say you was old fashioned, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that always happens. Well, tell me, what are some of your hobbies other than driving a truck that you like to do?
I love to go fishing. I mean, I'm absolutely one of these kind of fellas that I like to just sit on the beach and watch the sun go down. My wife and I like to go yard sailing and antiquing. Matter of fact, one week we just drove down to Lake City, Florida, spent the weekend down there, and did some antiquing. And you know how I can tell it's still in my blood to do this? If I'm home more than 2 or 3 days, about the third night, I start dreaming about trucking. I ain't kidding. Last night I was dreaming I was in the truck, and that's when I know it's time to go back to work. But the great thing about it is after 2 decades of doing this, I still look forward when that Qualcomm goes off. It's kind of like, where do we get to go next? And things like that. And it took me 2 years of being here to hit all 48 states. All 48 states, 2 years. And it took 12 years where I have driven every inch of every interstate in the United States. At least once, sometimes just once. And
Wow. Say that again now, because
I have driven every inch of every interstate in the United States. Now, I'm not talking about the bypasses and the spurs, but if they're 2 digits or 1 digit interstates, I've driven every single solid inch in a Wiley Sanders truck.
Wow.
From coast to coast. And I've driven completely across the Canadian, the country, from one end to the other.
Really?
Yeah, that was the greatest run ever.
Where'd you go? Tell me about it.
There was one of them HB&G loads.
Yeah.
And man, they started us up on Quebec, and me and my wife were driving down, and we ended up going all the way over to British Columbia. Well, you'd think most of Canada looks like the United States, and when you're around the big cities, they got them big roads. But when you get about 20 miles outside of, let's say, Toronto, it's 2-lane. It's like going down Highway 10 to Greenville. You go, what happened to the interstate? And we saw this lodge, and my wife wanted to get a picture next to a moose. There's one right there. So I like this. We jump out. I said, stand by the moose, honey. I raised the camera, and the moose shook his head and walked off. We thought it was a statue. It was a real. Listen, oh goodness Lord! Let me tell you something. You ain't seen 2 people out of shape run that fast.
Push y'all moving.
That's it. But you know what? We've gotten to see. There's a lot of stuff. I love history. I've taken students down to Tombstone, Arizona, and they've seen where Morgan Earp was shot and killed. You can still see bullet holes in the casino, in some of the casinos. I've taken several students into downtown New York City, and they've seen Ground Zero, and that's a very sobering place to go. And we just do a lot of LA. We were at Krispy Kreme one time, and me and a student saw Ozzy Osbourne getting donuts. Really nice guy.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, there are things I've seen trucking that I probably never never be able to afford to see.
That's right.
To go there and actually visit, But I tell you, I wish you was gonna be in town Friday, because this rodeo, you ain't seen nothing.
I need to go to a rodeo.
You ain't seen nothing to that little kid. It's the funniest little thing, and I don't know where to get the look, but that little kid, when they open that chute, and that thing is running, and they're holding on. I saw this one kid was laid over to the side, and he just holds on, because the sheep will run so far, and then it'll just stop. And he'll turn a little. But they be on there, boy, girls, and it be so funny. It be so funny. And
do you wear a cowboy hat when you go?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Don Walker to get me a cowboy hat. I'm gonna show up one of these days.
I'm gonna tell you a little story about a cowboy hat. Now, I'm gonna tell this, and I'm not gonna cry when I tell it. But I had the chance, Miss Tony Sanders give me a cup. Well, she gave me one. She gave me 2 of Mr. Sanders cowboy hats after he passed. And at the regular rodeos, some of the sponsors get to ride on the trailer and get to ride around the arena. And they've always invited me, you know, and I've always went. And I always get this hat out. And what I do, my head is little. I take a sock and I wrap around the hat and I put it on. Well, I'm going somewhere with it.
Was his head that much bigger than yours?
Yeah, a little bit bigger than mine.
Wow.
But this was a sobering moment, as you would call it. We're riding around the arena, and the cattlemen had lost a lady. Man, they had lost some people, and they had a horse standing in the arena for them. And here I am, I'm sitting there with this hat on, and I'm looking, and I think, wow, what a big stage. You know, sometimes you can be in an atmosphere you wonder, am I worthy of this? And I was looking at that hat, and I thought about the man who wore that hat, and that sock was kind of tilted down a little bit. I never said nothing to nobody. When I had to take the hat off for us to wave, I took the hat off and I waved it like that, and I put it in my lap. If you go in my office, you'll see that hat. I said that's a little too big of a hat. It was the man, it wasn't the hat, and what he represented for this time. And I put that hat in my office, and it's been peaceful. I look up there and I look at it, and I know I keep moving on.
What a neat story.
Yeah, and I always keep it up there, and I don't never try to wear it no more. I got another one at home, but it's like real tall. This one, an old-fashioned one, and I always keep that stuff. When you look at the rodeo and you look at Pike County, and you look at the things that we did in this county, I'm proud of it.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of it. You heard me talking to the gentleman earlier, and I was telling him they had kids up here. I bet it was, oh man, I'm gonna say 13, 14 of them, and they was just as manable and polite as you ever want to see a group of kids. They had some talkers up there. At one, I told him, I said, you need to be a politician. That little kid could talk. Well, I want to go back to the clip on that joint. And one of the kids, I felt like I knew him because when they had the steak cooking and we was out there eating, he sit with me, him and some more kids. Thomas Hicks' little boy sit with me, and Thomas, your dispatcher. And I remembered him from that. I said, I know you, man. You had dinner together. He said, yeah, Hoss, you was sitting with us. I thought they were sitting with me, but he told me I was sitting with them. So.
Oh, okay, got it.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about fun, but I know this is short notice, but I'm going to get the date of the next rodeo, which I think he said coming up soon. But anyway, when I get the date of it, I'm going to already go and get you 2 tickets. And I'm going to hold them in my desk. And I want you and your wife to make time to
We
go.
going to make time.
I know it. Like you say, all you got to do is know the date. And y'all have fun. I have a Wally Sanders table set up there.
Oh, man,
you can come by the table, sit and talk. It's just really fun. I usually get somebody from the office to go with me.
Yeah.
I have to get somebody because I can't be still, man. I have to go out there to that rodeo. I just can't be still.
Hey, I got one to tell you a little story I think you'll like.
What's that?
I was broke down one time, remote part of Alabama, and a guy comes out there, old country fella, and he says, I'm here to fix you and get you on the road. That's great. He said, you know why I like doing work for your company? I said, why? He goes, I can fax them a bill today, and I'll have the check in the mail tomorrow. He said, Wiley pays their bills. And I thought that was kind of weird. And so we got to talking. I said, well, most of your bigger carriers don't. He goes, no, sometimes I have to wait 30, 60, 90 days to get paid. I send Wiley a bill. And you know what that says? That says that we have a reputation. That means that we're taking care of, they're not only taking care of their drivers, they take care of their vendors.
Oh, yeah.
Because without them taking care of the people that support us, we ain't going nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that was just a neat story, you know, that this man was so impressed with how Wiley did their stuff, and I was just really, really thrilled.
Well, you know, when a driver is out there, and which you was the first hand of it, when a driver is out there, you want to be able to call somebody, and you want to be able for them to go work on that truck, and you want them to know they're going to get your money, and you are very important to us to get you going. I could sit here all day long and tell you stories of people that have come out, and the reason they came out because the way we have paid them, and it may be Sunday. And I had a guy come out one time and jump me off. The truck I was trying to hook to was surrounded by somebody else's truck. I didn't want to touch it. He come there and jumped that truck off and eased it back. Just had on a suit and a tie. Was on the way from church, you know. And so it just tells you the things we go through and the things that we do for other people. Every Monday morning I say this, and I say it from my heart. If you can't make a living driving a truck for Wiley Sanders Truck Line, I am worried about you in this industry. I'm not saying I'm the only game in town, but I'm saying that you can make it here.
That's exactly right.
You can make it here. And you can make a good living. And, you know, I hire people. I gotta make sure I say this right. I get in trouble. I hire people that other companies have terminated for stuff that I would say is silly.
Oh, absolutely.
Just something that they just did do. And I don't want to get into things. It's one thing Mr. Sanders has taught me, Mr. Stephen Sanders has taught me, for me to focus on Wiley Sanders Truck Line. I see why the Sanders companies have been so successful. They don't get into all that other stuff. They focus on what they
Absolutely.
do. I talked to a guy, his name is Doug. Doug gonna get on me. Not Doug Kitchen, this was a Doug. He works for the KW plant, and he's working on this project. And it's so interesting to talk to this guy. This guy's from up north, and boy, he comes in that gym in the morning time, and he's like me. He wants to see this country working and people going and having things. And he be telling me about that project. Our country, it's just people have got what a lot of people got where they don't want to work. I'm not gonna say our country. I'm gonna say some of our people have got where they don't want to work. And this guy's telling me the jobs and the opportunities he's got. And I'm gonna tell you this quick story, and I'm gonna get out of here. But he had a young guy that did not want to listen to something he was doing. But he told the guy, he said, just go in, sit in on it. And he sat in on an engineers meeting. You know, when this guy's an engineer and they was talking about stuff. Well, afterwards, the guy said, man, I want to do that. And he said, that's what I've been trying to tell you. Let me teach you something. Come on, let me teach you something. I reversed that around, and I remember, and I guess they say you do your testimonies when you get old, so I guess I'm getting old. But I think of as a young man coming to Sanders, don't know Adams house cat about nothing. Just out of school and did not want to go to college. That's all I did know. Them was the one concern things I had in my mind. Well, my folks wasn't gonna let me sit around there and eat their groceries. it was simple as that. You're gonna get a job if you stay here. And I tell families all the time now, if you got a guy that's a son or a daughter that's over 21 years of age and they ain't doing nothing, put them in the truck driving school. Let them take care of themselves until they figure out what they want to do. I was in a figuring out stage. My parents had sent me to Sanders in a figuring out stage. You know, you figure out what you want to do. Until then, you work.
That's it.
And I was sweeping the floor. I was on trash truck. An old man named Mac Boyd was there, and he knew my parent. And he asked him to give me a job. And I was sweeping the floor. It's pretty good.
I got to tell a story if you remember this. You know
What's that?
You know where I first met you?
Where?
I got to tell you, I broke down and I busted, something happened to my transmission. You drove the record down to Cantonment to the International Paper Mill. I had just met you.
Yeah.
And I jumped out there with you and I was watching you and you was hooking everything up and we rode back to Troy together. A couple of years later, I had an issue where another guy, a different fella, had to come up with a record in Indiana and get me. And was having issues hooking it up. And I showed him something that I watched you do. He said, hey, that's pretty good. You've been a record driver before? I said, no, I watched Hoss Daddy do this. I said, if you kick it, but you got to hold your mouth right when you kick it. That thing will, and you know what? It worked.
It worked. You know, I was blessed. I had Glenn Bullitt, and he works on the yard now. He works out there now. Well, he owned Bullitt Garage. And to this, I'm just old fashioned. To this day, they try to tell me to go tell Mr. Glenn something to do the other day. I said, I ain't telling Mr. Glenn that. Y'all asked him to do it. I still look at him as Mr. Glenn to me. But we used to go on record trips, and he would tell me, he said, you do like I tell you, and you'll learn how to do this stuff. And while the other guys was unloading what was on that trailer, I was stuck up under Mr. Glenn, pulling them chains. Wherever he told me to pull them.
That's right.
Well, it paid off because we had a truck to come off 65 going and get on 231 on the loop in that curve, and it laid it over. Mr. H.D. Fielding was living then. And I got a chance to sit it back up. To me, that was such an accomplishment. But when I look back, if it hadn't been for all them times I was with Mr. Glenn and learning, and that's the point we're making here, people. Learn something. Be around somebody and learn something. I ain't no telling how many trainers you have trained. Do you know? You keep such good records. You know how many people you
No,
train?
but I'll tell you, I did. Scott told me the other day, I've actually got 2 here that's over 2 million mile drivers. And I know I got at least 4 or 5 that's million mile drivers.
Wow.
And one guy's left here. He worked here for a few years, but he became assistant safety director at another company. You know, and he would start out here as a trainee.
Yeah. It's definitely a great place to work. Definitely got great equipment. Definitely got great people. It makes my heart joy every Monday morning when I can look around me and say, there's over 75 years standing around here, you know.
I saw some new trucks on the yard too this morning.
I saw 8.
I said,
come out there
wow, look at them, man. They
I
pretty.
come out there Saturday and I counted them. It was 8.
Man, they pretty.
Yeah, they pretty. But you know, that's another thing. A guy comes here and he sees new equipment coming. Let me tell you something. Go try to buy a new pickup right now. Go try to buy a new anything. It is hard to get. We have some old equipment because we can't get no new equipment. We're trying to get equipment. We're ready. And I just think if this economy if everybody just get on the same page and we just go to work, this thing we'll get right back out there.
Absolutely.
We'll get right back into it. You got some companies like the Sanders company just ready to go. I could hire a cleanup guy today. I could hire several mechanics. Ken Bray, I say but I mean, if they was to call me, I could get them in touch with Ken Bray, John Smothers. You know, they could go to work today. A driver, like I hire him today, and he could go to work. It used to be the time it wasn't like that, and we complained. Now we complaining because we got to go to work. Now something ain't right with that. I ain't the smartest person in the world, but something ain't right with that. This ought to be the happiest time in the world for any individual just looking for a job because he can find one. I've heard my parents talk about not being able to find work when work was hard.
Absolutely.
You know,
You
not
see
being able
pictures
to-
of them folks standing in line at the soup kitchens?
Yeah.
Because they can't get a job for anything.
Yeah, and now, you know, when you ride up the bypass and you see Captain D's giving a sign-on bonus.
When I saw McDonald's giving a sign, oh, you got to be kidding me. Wow.
But you know what? You said something a while ago that guy came and he fixed your truck, and he said the reason he was gonna get you going because he could fax them a com check and he'd have his money tomorrow.
Yep.
Well, you think about this. Every Wednesday morning, we get a thing called E-Stub.
That's right.
Don't you get it every Wednesday morning?
You know, that was one thing I told my students. I can maybe count on 2 or 3 fingers how many times my check's been off.
Yeah.
But when I call payroll, one of the first things they ask me when they figure out it's their fault, we can either send you the money right now to your truck, or we'll just add it to your check. It's not like, you know, we'll get to it or something like that.
No, it's
if
what
it
you
was
want done.
an honest error, you know, something didn't get put in correctly, they have offered to send it right. They've offered
Just
to
hit
send.
mute. That's okay.
I ought to do like your last guest, take the call.
I don't talk about my calendar. But you know, and that's great. It's good to know. There's nothing wrong with working, but being guaranteed the cash is good to know.
30 seconds.
It's good to know. I think he just told me 30 seconds. Ron,
Yes, sir.
once again, before you leave, you tell Great a happy anniversary and
Oh,
bye-bye.
She told me, she said, I don't get to watch you very often. And she said, if I'm going to watch this show, I better hear a shout out. I said, I'm
Well, to give her another one.
another one, a shout. And then my son, Mike's, he's 35 and he's a bank executive now, got a wonderful family, 2 girls, just built him a house.
Well, that's good. We're out of here. Don't forget, come by the TV station. We got tickets. We got rodeo tickets. They'll be here till Friday morning. Until next Monday, goodbye, goodbye.
Home or business. Most important.